I hope you're good. Okay. Let us do this. Let's do this. Yesterday we discussed the game of idea. Okay, so I want to do a quick recap on yesterday when we spoke about money, the game of idea. Samavad, how is all of East Africa? It's like I'm not using Nigerian time again, no. Please, where in the world is it 7 p.m.? That's the time I'm using now because in Nigeria it's not 7 p.m. So for me to be right on 7 p.m., I have to claim to be somewhere else other than Nigeria. Okay, so yesterday I discussed the game of idea, and on that note, I want to say welcome to day 41. Welcome to day 41. Okay, all right, Canada it is. Welcome to day 41. So yesterday I explained to you um, in very cogent ways to explain to you that there is something that is fantastic. We thank God for everything. Adupe, Adupe, Ope, Nlanla, Adupe, Adupe, Lọ́jọ́ kan. Thank God. Okay, so I explained to you yesterday about the concept of ideas, and I told you that sometimes when you are looking to solving a problem, one of the things that you will ask for is ideas. Say, who has an idea about this? Who has an idea about how to go about this? Who has an idea about it? Because it means that what you will find in any book is going to be limited. You remember this particular movie? It was Denzel Washington, and he was a pilot, experienced pilot, but he had a drinking problem, and he landed he landed the plane in on this ocean, yeah, one of the ocean in America, according to the movie. And then at first he made the plane fly upside down, and then before he landed, and when he landed, nobody died, nothing happened, they're able to save people. And then when they you know how they do those things when you now have to face the committee to explain your actions and things like that because they need to show, and already got people to lie for him that he didn't drink and things like that. And then he came out to say, look, okay, so I drank, all right? I drank. Now, can you run a simulation that says there is another way for me to have landed that plane other than the way I've landed it? And they said, yes, there was a simulation. And then he told them that there was something wrong with the simulation because the simulation did not factor in response time. The simulation assumed that as the thing happened, then you just started, solving the problem. The point is, they realized that nobody else could have done that. Nobody else, drinking or not drinking, nobody else could have done that. And that's an idea because it was not in any book. Nobody read, it had never happened. Nobody taught anybody. And he did it because he just had an idea about how to do it. And I explained to you yesterday that that's how it works. That's how it works. So you always have ideas. And I went further to tell you that, okay, so ideas are a very wonderful thing. You should pray to have ideas. It's good to have ideas. Everybody will always have at least $10 million ideas in their lifetime. So, maybe you've had one or two. Okay, so ideas are very wonderful. But I also explained to you that ideas are useless without execution because the whole essence of an idea is so that you do something and get a unique result. So without the execution of idea, it's pretty much difficult for you to achieve anything, which means that the person who has an idea but did not act on it is not different, nor is he better than the person who lacked ideas. So execution is very, very important. So today I want to discuss with you the game of depth as per something being deep. You know, when you joke and say, oh deep, oh deep, oh deep. It's deep, it's deep, it's deep. Okay. Yeah, that kind of deep depth. So I want to talk about that. And in I think it was almost 2 weeks ago now, I did pressure. And I talked about pressure. And I explained to you that pressure is a good thing, especially if you learn how to control it. And I told you that the control is always internal, even though the pressure comes from outside. Okay? Do you remember? Good. And then I used the wine press approach, and I explained to you how, if you want to make wine from grape juice, how you use the wine press, how you have to control the pressure. Okay? Otherwise, you crush the seed. If you crush the seed, you spoil the wine. Okay? And I explained how people's core must not be tampered with, because that's how people become bitter, and then that's how people have depression. I explained all of that. The next day I went on to explain the concept of how you find diamond deep down because of pressure and temperature. Okay, how carbon is just there, very, very common. Graphite is everywhere, charcoal, that's carbon, black materials. And then you find carbon that is crystal and is a stone and is the added substance. How did it happen to be? Because of pressure. Good? I explained that to you. Okay, good. Then I think about 7 days or thereabout days ago. Yeah, I think so, about 7 days ago, I spoke about meditation, and I explained to you that meditation is how you put pressure on life so that life can give you Bami's cake and pastries. Temi, Angela, you guys are welcome. You guys are you guys are not late to the party, okay? I am the caterer that did not bring the food on time. So I apologize to the owners of the party. We were trying to cook the food and it was raining over here and things like that. Bami's cake and pastries, you're welcome. Temi, Angela, you're welcome. Good to have you. Temi, it's been a long while, though. I've not seen. Okay. All right. So, and I explained that meditation is how you put pressure on life, because life also has its own juices. So if you put pressure on life based on meditation, what you're going to find is that you're going to begin to happen on good stuff. The good stuff are going to get to you. And I categorically explained to you how to do that. I told you that when you meditate, what you do is that you allow your mind, your subconscious mind, to get everything possible from any particular word or subject. So if you I explained that if you say, I am a great man, I'm a wonderful woman, and you say it like you are trying to get yourself to understand what it really means by repeating it to yourself. You know how, for example, if you put yam inside the pestle, you have to pound the yam. No problem, Tammy, no problem. You have to pound the yam, and then when you keep pounding, if you pound once, you don't stop. If you pound once and stop, it does not become pounded yam. Whereas in the English, in the real sense of it, pounded means to have been pounded. So if you pound once, it is already a pounded yam, because you pounded once. Because pounding once is already means it's pounded, so it's supposed to be pounded yam. But you and I know that you have to repeatedly pound before it becomes the pounded yam. The kind of pounded yam that does not look confused, that does not look as if it's not sure whether it wants to be pounded yam or that kind of thing. Exactly. So that was the same thing that I was trying to explain to you when I told you that if you mutter words to yourself, you say, I am a wonderful woman. I'm a wonderful woman. I am a wonderful woman, and you go on like that, what happens is that your mind captures all of the essence, the possibilities, the ways, the channels, the connections. You attract everything, the lessons, the wisdom, the skills. You attract everything, including people who will help you, people who will train you, people who will mentor you. You attract everything that you need to make you a wonderful woman. If you say, I'm a great man, I'm a great man, I'm a great man, I'm a great man, I'm a great man. If you do that as an habit, you are going to become great. You are going to attract everything that you need to become great. That's how it works. Good. Now, I just laid that as a template because that's not exactly where I'm going today. I mean, I want to talk about debt. But I want to show you something. You remember when I talked about diamond, when I talked about pressure, I was saying that it's always deep. Good. Now, there was also a time that I explained to you that you don't find value on the surface. You don't find value on the surface. What you find on the surface, because it's very, very common, it means little or nothing to most people. So value is always hidden. Value is always deep, is always there deep. The same thing with oil. In fact, the cleanest source of water is when you dig a deep well. When you dig a deep well, either as a borehole or as a normal round well that is deep. Science will tell you that any water you find on the surface, don't drink it because it can't be good, because it is naturally going to be contaminated. Okay? That's the same thing. So, when you talk about debt, it means that you as a person are deep enough in whatever way, in whatever area, you are deep enough to access the good things of life. And I will explain to you, you have enough debt to do the good things in life. Now, so there are different kinds of debt, okay? I want to show you something. There are different kinds of debt. There is debt in thoughtfulness. There is debt in thinking. There is debt in knowledge. There is debt in understanding. Good. Now, debt for a human being also means the ability to see through. Debt means the ability to see through, because what presents to everybody is the surface. What presents to everybody is the surface. Now, your ability to see beyond the surface, is what makes you a deep person. Because human beings, what I'm talking about is abstract. You can't literally dig. You can't dig physically. If I say, for example, let's take poverty, for example. Now before I say that example, let me show you something. I've said it before. I told you that every problem always has its solution inside of it. Every problem's solution is inside the problem. If there's any problem, the solution is right inside the problem. What do I mean? It is in the understanding, it is in the in-depth of the understanding of the problem that you are able to get the solution. Because the solution is something that you are going to come back to apply on that subject, on that problem. So the solution is always attached to the problem. If there is any problem, the solution is inside. The difference between you who sees the solution and other person who does not see the solution is the depth, the ability to see through. Which means that one of the things that you do, one of the ways to get value, one of the ways to get things that are valuable, one of the ways to be indispensable, one of the ways to be sought after, one of the ways for people to look for you is for you to demonstrate unique depth. Depth of thought, depth of thinking, depth of sight, depth of understanding, depth of knowledge. Because let me tell you, we all can agree. Now I'm back to the example. We all can agree that poverty is a problem. Poverty is a problem. We've had series of governments doing poverty alleviation programs, poverty alleviation programs. Yet there's still a lot of poverty in this country. Some countries do not have as much poverty as we have in Nigeria because they have been able to solve the problem of poverty. Now we are different people, and different leaders. So they've not been able to deploy the solution from other poor countries to our own terrain. So now the person who is going to solve poverty in his community has to understand in depth the poverty of that community. What kind of poverty is in this community? Why is this poverty, for example, different? How is this poverty different? What is different about this poverty? How did these people get to become poor? When did these people start to get poor? And things like that. It is in the in-depth understanding of a problem that the best solution is found. Solution can cost a lot of things, but you see, the solution that came by through the process of the deepest thought or the deepest sight. Toyosi, IG, you're welcome. Or the deepest sight, the solution that comes from deepest sight or deepest understanding will be the same solution that costs the little, that costs the least. Which means that every time that you stay on the surface, you are going to be losing value. Not just lose value that you are not getting because you are not valuable, but also value that could have been paid to you in terms of money. Which means that living for you may be more expensive. You are now going to join one of those people who they will tell you that you have to cut your means. You have to cut your means. Okay? So if you live in Nigeria, how frugal can you be? If you live in Nigeria, what kind of life will you live in Nigeria if you truly live on minimum wage as a graduate? So they say, this is the minimum wage. You're a graduate. Live below your means. How below? What is below 30,000 naira in a month? How much is minimum wage? What can be below 30k in a month? Because with 30k in a month, that's 1k in a month. So are you telling me that with 1k every day, 30k a month means 1k every day? Are you telling me that with 1k every day, you can rent an apartment, you can eat, you can wear clothes, and you can go around? That is impossible. That is impossible. That is totally impossible. So you want to make sure that you are not on the surface. Now, there is a way to test whether you have debt anywhere. You see, you can decide where you want to have debt, but you must have debt somewhere. There must be somewhere where you have deep insight or deep understanding or deep thinking or deep knowledge. There has to be a subject or expertise that you have debt. If you don't have debt, you are going to be on the surface. And you are going to be one of those people who will have issues, poverty issues and things like that. Now, one of the ways that you know that you have debt, which you have to start thinking about. One of the ways that you know that you have debt is there any subject that you can pick and speak for 30 minutes? I mean, what am I saying? Not 30 minutes. Is there any subject that you can take and speak for 3 hours non-stop? Can you take a subject or an area of expertise or something and then discuss it? Talk about it, start talking about it and talk about it for 3 hours. It does not matter what way or what subject, but is there a subject where if you just say, okay, you're welcome, Mr. Lagbaja. Okay, so we are here for you. Please give us something. Do you have anything that you can keep giving in terms of words and information and be there for 3 hours? If you don't have, you have to, pay attention. You have to pick the subjects and areas that you like and start to dig so that you don't stay on the surface. Because if you stay on the surface, nobody is going to accrue any value to you. Nobody is going to accrue any value to you if you stay on the surface. If you stay on the surface, nobody is going to accrue anything to you. And you know, when you go to the hospital, if something happens to you, they can ask you what's up. You can say this and this and this. The next thing that a doctor would do is to send you to a lab for diagnostic imaging. It could be X-ray, it could be MRI, it could be CT scan. You know, there are several diagnostic imaging. You know, now what is the essence of X-ray? The essence of X-ray is for diagnosis. How does it work? X-ray beams light into things that the ordinary eyes cannot see. That's how your depth should be. That's how your thinking should be. Your thinking should be X-ray. Your thinking should be X-ray. It should be that you can see through. You can think through. You have to intentionally practice thinking. I learned this in 2013. I learned this in 2013. When they say, you know, let me tell you, oh God, how do I explain this to you? When they say, think something through, they say, have you thought it through? Usually people will say yes. People say yes, I've thought it through. Look, thinking through is like, oh God, how do I explain this? Thinking through is like solving a problem in your mind before you even come to solve it physically. It's like going through a journey before you even embark on the journey physically. It's like getting a map. God bless you. It's like getting a map. It's like, okay, so they say, look at this maze now. Enter in this maze. Usually people get lost in a maze. But thinking through a maze means that they now gave you the image of the maze. You now use pencil to draw it. To draw your way out. You now went like this, you didn't go, you came back, you went like this, you didn't go, you came back, you went like this, you didn't go, you came back, you went like this, you went like this, you went like this, you stopped there, you went back, and went like this, and then. So sometimes it's possible for you to take 5 hours thinking on a particular thing. That's how you get depth. That's how you think through. So you must be able to pick any particular problem and think it through. You see, that exercise is very, 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 very important. It's very, very important. You see, because you see, everything that a person is a sum of the person's thoughts. So if you have results, it's because you are a thinker. If you have unique results, it means that you spend time thinking. See, mosquito, Nigeria, obviously, we're in Nigeria. I have to kill this mosquito. I've killed it. I mean, I don't like mosquitoes. Jeez. Okay, so that is what thinking through means. You have to engage in it so that you can have depth. When you have depth, you will have value. You have value. When you have value, nobody will treat you shabbishly. You will hold your space. You will boost your self-confidence. You will have good self-esteem. You will attract great people. Have you ever wondered why some people can attract people without even saying anything? How people just like them? It is because they have allowed curiosity to drive them deep inside. Now they have. You're laughing at Nitoyosi. Now they have. Yes, but it's mosquito. Yeah, you have to think. You have to think things through. You have to think things through. Let me tell you what happens for people who think things through. What happens? Yes, so I just saw it too. I just saw the mosquito. What happens is that when a person thinks through on a particular problem, the problem disappears. The problem may still exist physically, but the effect of the problem disappears in the person's mind, which makes the person feel lighter, happier, and what's the word? And more alive, more lively. The problem may still exist physically, but because you have thought through on the problem and you have thought through and you have come out on the other hand, the problem loses its effect. That's why you are also now able to speak with confidence, because you have thought it through. You have to understand that it is important for you to imbibe the habit of thinking things through. You have to understand that the habit of thinking things through is what gives you depth. So if you use meditation and you use thinking through, what you would achieve is that you will get the value that are deep that most people will never get to, and you also get the juice of life. That's what I wanted to show you today. That I wanted you to combine deep thinking, so that I can get solutions that are unique, so that I can get solutions that won't cost as much as solutions that are on the surface, so that you don't miss value, so that you are not usual, so that you can have unique results, so that you can have great results, so that you can have respect from people around you, in fact, respect from your parents. So that when you talk, when you stand up somewhere to talk, people will listen, not because you are coming from anywhere, but because right inside the same room. Look, deep thinking is why some children will talk and their parents will listen, and then some children will talk and they say, go and sit down there. Same parents, same environment, the difference is in the thinking. That is why the scripture will tell you that as a man thinketh, so is he. It did not say what the man thinks, so is he. It said as he thinks, as a man thinketh, as like that's like depth, like how much does a man think is very proportional to who the man becomes. He didn't say whatever the man thinks, that's what the man becomes. Not really. He said as you do something, as a man thinketh, so the man is. Task. Spend 30 minutes every day minimum thinking about something that is there to you, something that is important to your information. And as you do that, make sure that you are holding your biro and your jotter. If you can write with your phone, if your phone is a note, by all means write with the phone. But you must make sure, your task is that you must make sure that every day you spend 30 minutes thinking. You know, when I say that, it occurs to me that people say, I'll now sit down and be thinking. So you have to see it like this. You have to see it like that parable of the man of two men who wants to go and cut tree. And one just woke up, took his axe, and just went and started cutting. Whereas the other man stayed and sharpened his axe. Spent hours sharpening his axe before he went into the forest to cut trees. Of course, you know the person who cut the most trees now, and you know the person who got tired and didn't get to cut a lot of trees. So please see it like that. See it, when you spend time thinking, you will attract great results. Thank you so much, Toyosi. Thank you so much, Tammy, Angela. It's so nice to have you guys. Thank you for your time. It's late and then you guys are online. I really appreciate it. I really do appreciate it. I don't take it for granted. I'm rooting for you guys. I am invested in your success, and I'll see it happen. I'll be here for it. Thank you so much. Bye.